Welcome back to Talking Turf. It's been a while. It has. I've got loads to talk about. 60 seconds as always, folks. Grab a cuppa, grab a drink. It's Friday night. The show is going down live in 60 seconds. Yeah, we are back. You all right, Gary?
Good.
Gary's just
been 3 weeks.
What was it like?
Mint. Absolutely mint.
Mint.
Absolutely mint. Kids loved it, so nice little breakaway.
Mint. Happy days. Back just in time for the FA Cup 5th round against Fulham. You made sure you weren't away for that. You didn't mind missing Ipswich, but you're not missing the FA Cup.
I'm not.
That one were the champions.
The holders, and hopefully we'll retain it. I think we will, but
actually, Gary, I've got a video here. I'll just quickly put it on 2 seconds.
Baby, we are fucking back. We're back. Classic. We are back. We are back.
We are so back. Yeah, Jordy's straight in there. Jordy's a good follower of ours. He's in. Been at bloody hell, another show only 3 weeks late. Evening, Melly and Gary. Evening, mate. I hope you're well. All right, so let's have a quick catch up then, Gary. Start on Tuesday. Forget about the other results. They're totally irrelevant. We'll start on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we'll look forward to the FA Cup this weekend. Brighton hosted Bournemouth. Brighton won it 2-1. This probably goes down as the less rivalry doing the south is this game, Brighton and Bournemouth. Brighton come away with the 3 points. João Pedro scores. Justin Kluivert scores another absolute worldie. He's put his price up a canny bit this season. And Danny Welbeck, good old reliable Danny Welbeck, who was sent over a decade ago, who wasn't good enough. He scores, doesn't he, for fun? And he's picked the 3 points up there for Brighton. Excellent win for them because they're quite close in the league as well, mate. Bournemouth are sitting in 7th and Brighton are sitting now in 8th, both joint on 43 points. So an excellent win for Brighton.
It is. And back on Danny Welbeck, he's a carbon copy of exactly what we need at the minute. You would take him with the drop of a hat. But two good teams that's in form, I would say. Obviously, Brighton's going to Newcastle this weekend, and Newcastle's obviously that's going to give them. They're going to give them a tough game because Brighton, they were a little bit blippy over the Christmas for the games, and that, I think they had a lot of injuries. They were struggling, but Bournemouth's been really, really good. So to win 2-1, and like you say, that Kluivert goal, absolutely real. He's got to be one of the most informed players, in the league, I would say, from last season coming into the season. It just every week he seems to be scoring, but really good goals. So if you want to watch in the summer, I think there'll be a lot of teams sniffing around him, especially with his dad's pedigree and stuff. Obviously, it puts him in that bracket, doesn't it? So
definitely, mate. He's like you say, his dad, obviously an absolutely fantastic player, and he hadn't done much really prior to the season. But I think it all started maybe it's a game or two before Newcastle, and then when they played Newcastle, he absolutely tore them a new arsehole, let's say. Do you know what I mean? He was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. It can to show you what a goal can do for confidence for these players. So you get a little bit of confidence and then you start I don't know, you might start just taking an extra run or taking someone extra on, and then it just gives you that confidence to start shooting, and then they start getting in, and you think, oh, well, where's this come from? But meant good team to watch at the minute, actually, Bournemouth. But Newcastle had their hands full this weekend with Brighton, because good win for them, 2-1, like you say, a local derby.
If Brighton turn up, they can beat anybody on that day. I've always said that. Like they're a decent outfit, and they can attack. João Pedro is obviously like another one who will have a lot of people after him, I would think. And is it Matoma on the left wing? Very good player. Very good player. Even that lad that they bought from the tune.
Minter.
Dean Minter, isn't he?
Very good. He's Dean very Minter.
Dean very Minter. Evening, David. David's on YouTube there. Good to see
David.
You on YouTube. That's what we want to see. Share our page, please. Get one to what do you call it? More subscribers on YouTube, please, if you can. On TikTok as well. Just quickly, I'll add this to the stage. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but now we are sponsors of Chris Dobie for the next 7 Premier League games, and also for a few competitions. He's in one this weekend. I think it's the Ladbrokes one down in Minehead, Butlins. Good luck for that, Chris. Absolute honor.
Good luck, Chris. Thanks very much.
Yeah, absolute honor to sponsor you and help you. And I think the big night's on the way soon. If he can just get off to a good start, Gary, I think he's got it in his locker to go on and win something. But like last night, for instance, in my opinion, was, and he'd probably stay the same, like if he's being honest, is the early lead. If he takes that 3-0 lead, it's game hour. It's done. And he said he sell when he came on, doubles. But he's not far away, like from a big win out of him. I think it's coming fairly soon, to be fair.
He's not. He's there and thereabouts. So if you think where he was like last season, he dropped like a lot, didn't he? He dropped like lower in the world rankings, but then this season, obviously, he done really well in the World Championships, got himself back up there, got back into the Premier League. So he's on the right track. He's just got to dig in. A little bit like Man United, isn't he? Just not starting very well, but then finishing games, coming back and just clawing it back.
Well, he named his kid after Man United, didn't he? Chester.
Oh, right.
So he has got a little bit of Man United.
A little bit.
He has. Moving on to the Premier League.
So is Peter.
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 Right, maybe he's the blue side of Manchester. Crystal Palace surprise. I'm not bothered what anybody says. This has got to be the surprise result of the last few days. Crystal Palace 4, Aston Villa 1. Saw scoring. Rodgers had a good goal disallowed. I don't know if you've seen that or not. Where you've been away.
3. That 3 disallowed, didn't there?
Aye.
Was it 2 or 3?
He scores again, though, in the second half. Another very good player, this Rodgers, by the way. Mm-hmm. And then Mateta, Saw, and Nketiah dust Villa off. Special mention for Marcus Rashford, who obviously is in the very, like everybody's lips at the minute. But he came on and he got a 6. That's what he got. 6. And people are saying, you can't be saying that and stuff. And he's a different player on that. And my reply to that, Gary, is, he's been brought up at Manchester, right? He's lived minutes away from the ground. Like you said, all his friends and family are in the ground. Not only that, they've looked after his family. They've given him 300 grand a week, and he ended up playing the way that he was playing. Then he's went to Villa, all guns blazing. Should have been hitting the ground running. Had a couple of good touches in the pass, and he set a couple of goals up in that. But he looked a different player. He looked like he was re-energized, and I think, like, what is it at Manchester United that's causing that? Because how can you get yourself up for them, but you couldn't for Man United? And I just didn't get it.
But if you remember rightly, on Amaran's first couple of games, that was the exact Rashford you got.
Aye.
He was running, he was moving, he was scoring. He scored a couple of goals. Then he pissed off the island, come back, and then got dropped, didn't he? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, these issues started creeping into the club. It's not just something like that's going to change overnight with him. It's like he needs a whole new reset. He's obviously playing for a new contract with Villa. Obviously, there's an option to buy there. The better he does, like you're not stupid to work it out. The better he does, the more chance he's got to get in that better contact. He hasn't started any games. It sort of speaks volumes. Is he as good as what he thinks he is? And that's with quite a few injuries. I don't know. Obviously, he wanted that move to Barcelona, but they've done all their background checks and stuff like that. And they're thinking, well, so why do Man United want to sell Marcus Rashford if they view him as one of the best players on the planet, which he thinks he does, right? So then, what they've done their checks, and then they're thinking, well, why would Man U want to sell someone like that? Why would they freeze him out?
Gary, you've seen the comment, haven't you?
No,
have you not? Peter, you was hoping you were going to be on tonight. I've seen 2020 on you.
It was him. It was him. It was him. Peter, honestly. Peter, honestly, I took a double take and I thought, I'm sure Peter's just walked past the guns. I'm waiting for him to come back around this prom. And I waited about half an hour and I was going to be, we've seen it all. We've seen a lot. I was like, where's he? But I don't know if I didn't see you pass the other way. I was thinking he's going to get this. He's getting pelters here. He didn't come back.
He must have seen you before. I'm not going back that way.
Yeah, I think he did. He walked down the main street.
He's went the other way. He's went to Borderelli's for an ice cream instead. Jody tuned for life. Like Man U, that will do his confidence the world of him. You're not lying. Like Rashford will go back to normal. It's just like a new manager bounce. Peter's saying the change in Rashford was when he started dishing free meals out for the kids. Totally took his eye off the ball and never got it back. And I cannot disagree with you, Peter, because it seems to be, since it was from then, that he's gone downhill, in my opinion. I just cannot understand for the life of us how he can be paid so handsomely and not leave everything on the pitch. I mean, we're going to come to Man United, right? And we have getting sidetracked. But Villa 4, Villa 1, Crystal Palace 4. Excellent win for Crystal Palace. They've got that in their locker today, that Gary. Disappointing for Villa. We'll see what happens. Moving on. Wolves 1, Fulham 2. Sessignon scores for Fulham. João Gomez equalises for Wolves. And then Rodrigo Muniz scores for Fulham. Another good win for Fulham, who are visiting Old Trafford this weekend. A hard game for us as well. But in that game, Gary, a good win for Fulham away from home.
Definitely, it's a very hard game for us. They beat Newcastle not too long ago. I just had to get that in. We struggled doing there. I think did we come away with a point? I come away with a Premier League ball. That was right. But they're a decent side. They're organised, aren't they? They'll give her a game, and if we're not on it, we'll get knocked out of the cup. That's for sure. But good win for Fulham. Wolves have been doing that right lately, so good win.
Wolves are actually they're above the relegation zone now, as is Everton. Everton's doing really well. The Moyes effect has totally kicked in there. West Ham are sitting just above them as well. Graham Potter getting a couple of wins in his last couple of games there, beating Arsenal 1-0 and beating Leicester 2-0. So they're on the up. That's what Graham Potter brings as well, in my opinion. Chelsea hosted Southampton. Southampton, who are really struggling, in my opinion, and nailed on to going back down. But Nkunku, Neto, Colwell, and Cucurella sealed the win for Chelsea in a convincing victory. But what shadowed that, in my opinion, was Cole Palmer coming on after the game and saying, I'll be back soon. Like, your team's just won 4-0. You're making it about you. You know, like, it's not about you. It's about the team, innit? You know, maybe it's a few days later or whatever. Then you say, right, I'll be back. But for me, it was like, look, to celebrate your team winning. That, to me, screams like Rashford, Sancho, Jesse Lingard kind of character. I don't know about you.
All from the same way. With Rashford and obviously Lingard and whatnot, like same area, kids, like brought up.
Cole Palmer's a Man U fan.
That's what I mean. So it screams a little bit of the same sort of thing. Do you want them sort of people around you? But I mean, obviously, we've heard from other people. Apparently, he's a quiet lad and he doesn't really get involved with other players. Like, he's very mummy and daddy, isn't he? So,
yeah,
I don't know. That comes with a little bit of a surprise, but because excellent footballer, and you would want him, but
baby.
is that sort of his
fucking-
attitude coming out already? What? Are we back again?
sorry, I don't know how that came on, but look, we'll just fast track that actually, right? Oh, wait, 2 seconds, sorry.
We're back. Classic. We are back. We are back.
Is that for Peter?
That's for Peter. Man United 3, Ipswich 2. I'll tell you what it is, Gary. Obviously, I didn't blame Honor for that first goal. He is a crap
I
goal,
do.
but I do not blame Honor for that first goal. Dogu's running back. He's got his eyes on where it's going to go. You can see the keeper coming. So he either leaves it and lets him kick it, or he turns out. But to put that ball across there for him to run in and score tap in is absolutely bonkers. He had a bad night, in my opinion, Dogu. He'd done a couple of good runs and stuff, but then that challenge, it is a sending off because he's gone studs in. But you can see he's gone for the ball, and the kid's just pulled it away in time, which leaves his leg there. So, I don't think there was any malice in it. But they take an early lead through Phil Genie or whoever. And then an own goal by Morsey. And then Delict puts her in front, 2-1. Dogu gets sent off in the 43rd minute. I'm sitting in your seats, mate. By the way, your seats is absolutely cracking. Like, I could literally speak to the players. That's what it felt like. That's how close you were. You could hear them running by. And, it was class. Just before, 2 minutes in injury time in the first half, Ipswich equalised. After the other worst, I think, we're 10 men. We're going to struggle. We haven't got any fighting. Second half, mate, was completely different. Within 2 minutes, Harry Maguire, boom, 3-2 to United. And then we just sat and we're like, and the fight.
Picked them off. Could have scored a few more, couldn't I?
Aye. You wouldn't think we were 10 men. Like, it was nice to watch. There was one, I think you've probably seen it, and most people have seen the clip of Delap, where I was at Ipswich away, and he did it at Ipswich away right in front of her. He came out and he gave Mazuri, I think it was, a good old push, right? But it was only his first or second game that he played for her. So he's had it in his mind, right? So he's gone after Ugarte. He's chased him and he's given him it and given him it. In the end, he probably gives him it and pushes it out. Mazuri just runs out, mate. Honestly, you could see him. And he just gives him it. And then Xerxes standing out at the top of him. And the crowd, it celebrated like it was a goal. I've never seen that from a United team for ages, honestly. It was just like...
A little bit of fight. A little bit of fight.
Aye.
Which is what you want to see.
It was so refreshing to see. Again, though, which hangs a dark cloud over it, was Garnacho posting on Instagram about him getting brought off. And a lot of people were saying it's a disgrace. But the man's actually won with the game. Amorum's made that sub and he's won us that game. He's brought Garnacho off and he's, I think, did he put Casemiro in? No.
No, Mazraoui came on and left full back.
Mazraoui back in, straight back in, and we're back five again. And that was it. And that's what he's getting paid for at the end of the day. And it's got to be heartbreaking for Garnacho because he's probably the only one that gets his players. That's not what we needed, and he knew that. And
he should have celebrated the win. That's what he should have done.
The win,
it's a brilliant win.
Aye.
It's a brilliant win. And the thing is, why he's took Garnacho off and he's put Mazraoui in is because he just changed it to the left fullback, didn't he? Where he left wing back, and he can rely on. Obviously, Dallo or Mazraoui to get up and doing the pitch. They'll not just go one way and then whack back. Like what Garnacho will do, like time after time after time. That's why he got brought off. But he should be celebrating the win. It was a brilliant win considering getting done to 1-1. But I must admit, I totally agree. I think the first goal, the defender, Dogu, sees the ball coming over. He's got the whole pitch in front of him. I think the keeper should stay on his line. That's my opinion. Because he's got the whole pitch. I agree with you.
The keeper should be staying on his line, but he's made his move. Surely the
defender... But I didn't think Dogu is concentrating on him. He's just making sure that he's got 20 yard space on the tackle, which he did. I'm getting to this ball, and I just didn't think he looked at him. He just expects his keeper to be on his line. And then he's literally took the ball, doing and past him, and he's like stood there. But I mean, well, even the next goal, Melly, I mean, wow.
Either way, he's absolutely crap.
If he makes an attempt, like if he thinks that cross is going to go into the far corner and no one gets it, if he dives, right, makes an attempt to save that ball, and the striker nips in and puts it at the front post, you forgive him? I forgive him because I'm like, wait, because it looked like it was going to do that. To stand still and do nout, like it's shocking, but it's not just that one. I mean, like,
Bayenda must be still injured.
I've got no idea. I'll put Tom Heaton in front of him though.
He is injured because it's Craic and Harrison on the bench. 2 goalkeepers on the bench, man. That's how depleted we are. But still,
it was a win.
A win's
and
a win.
The Europa.
Aye, we'll win that as well. David says he agrees. Sad. Peter says that it takes a move to a bigger club that makes him play better. He's absolutely deluded, isn't he? Peter. Jesus. Geordie Tune for life. But Gary, the planet is Pluto for Rashford. He says he'd already passed, man. Peter says he would never have been allowed enough Fergie to do the outside football stuff. But you know when a new manager comes in, you don't off the island and get pissed. You know, like he wasn't
New York as well, wasn't it?
He wasn't there for him, like for the new manager.
On the international break, the New York. He was in New York and he was like
tried to get the match ball. He did get the match ball. Gary got the match ball. Fulham and Brighton was wins this weekend. Sad, but I think it'll happen. I think Brighton will definitely happen, but I don't think Fulham will. Hello, lad, says Ferry. Hello, Ferry. Shun, yeah, right. Sunderland's actually, aren't they? Sunderland's at other way or at home to Chef Wade.
So night.
Let one now. Fuck me, it's repeated more than Sky. 100% red card. That's all he's on about with the Dogu. And what do you call it? It is a red card because you get caught late, but that was knee kind of.
It's a one of them, isn't it? It's a one of them where like if you get away with it, you look, but when it's given, you just got to hold your hands up. I mean, the player didn't really argue, did he?
No.
It's slow doing it looks worse. Obviously,
it always looks worse slow doing
it. It does, but you know, like you cannot argue with it, can you? So there we go.
No. Right, so we've covered Man United and Ipswich. Brentford drew with Everton 1 each. Wissa scoring again, Gary. And then Jay O'Brien, who seems to be getting a run under David Moyes, is doing well as a centre-half. Had some pretty good outings lately. Ferry's there saying, home mate at War owns game, though. Guys, you're due a hold, aren't you? Billy Noble, Chef Ware tonight for the scum, and Geordie Tune for life seem to be very aware of who Sunderland are playing. Secret Mackham's there, lads. Brentford won, Everton won. A good result for Everton, a better result for Everton than it was for Brentford. That's 3 draws off the bounce, though, for Everton, but it's better than losses. It had been down to Nottingham, who hosted Arsenal, the Bottlers, the only team that could have gotten anywhere near Liverpool, and they went and got beat off West Ham and then drew with Forest a few days later. Like, that's why they'll never win out. They're just the bottle jobs on the Murray.
I didn't get it. Like, we spoke about Alice like in the summer, and we thought that out of any team, they were nailed on to sign the striker. I just can't believe they didn't. And then they've getting through January, and then Havertz for the rest of the season, who they're using an attacking midfielder to play as a false striker anyway. And then Jesus was already out for the rest of the season, and you just think, wow, like you're sitting in a position like where you're the only challengers, really. You're in a season where Man City's like dropped off massively, and you're in a position where you can like actually challenge for a league. Like Liverpool might slip up. That's what you're thinking at the time. Liverpool could slip up. They're in like unknown territory, and you didn't break the bank to get number 9. I think on the last day did they offer 60 million or so for Ollie Watkins, but then Duran went to Saudi, so then that got. I think why you waited? Like Ollie Watkins could potentially have won them the league,
mate. Like
did at the beginning
before they played West Ham, right? They were 8 points behind. That game there would have took them to 5 points with a game in hand.
I know. It's crazy.
They lose that game. Liverpool go and win 11 points. The game in hand's gone because they played Forest and drew. So they've had 1 point out of the 2 games. Like, the title was there. It was there to win. You played West Ham and Forest, and you're getting 1 point.
I don't get it.
You didn't deserve to win the league. You didn't even deserve to be in second when you're acting like that. Absolutely ridiculous. You're right, though. They're getting a striker. It might have been a different story, but I don't know. Honestly, mate.
Was it worth 100 million gamble to them? Surely.
Got to be. Got to be.
It's got to be. It's got to be worth
the Premier
it.
League. You know, like your views has gone through the roof because everybody's viewing you because you've won the Barclays Premier League in Britain, the best league in the world. Like you're in the Champions League. Like 100 million. The shirt sales would cover that.
I mean, I know people talk about us a lot, but I mean, when was the last time Arsenal won the league title?
Aye. When was the last time the Toon won a trophy? Tell me, mommy, ma, to wipe away all my tears. No trophy for almost 70 years. Tell me, ma. Villa wanted 60 million. They offered 40. There's Lee Fairgrieve. Toon fans calling Nick Pope new. Had an argument in Chip Shop yesterday about it. Bah, fickle or what? Jeez, man. Changed like the wind. No, but they've got a point, though, Fairy. There's no way on God's earth I would have dropped the Braffka for Nick Pope. Not a hope in hell. They're saying it was because of the Man City game. But Nick Pope and nets for that Man City game, like their tails were up. They were beating anybody that day. And I think he would have conceded 4 or 5 as well had he been in nets. Geordie Toon for life 21 years ago. No, the F.A Cup doesn't count Geordie. Let's go further back than that. Michael Adamson, how much of a knob must Jurgen Klopp be feeling now, though? He's right, isn't he? Thought he was the greatest manager in the world. And then Arnie Snots come in. Boom. Still in the Champions League. Probably going to win the Carabao Cup, if we're being honest.
I've seen a few things on Facebook and Twitter and that, like over the last few days. And I just thought we should bring it up. Like, what is the point of like sending the managers off for them then to be able to sit in the stand with a radio and pull out the strings? And you're like, it's a fair point, that isn't it? It's a fair point.
Manager years ago, can you remember who used to actually prefer to sit in the stands?
Aye.
Who was it? Sure, it was for
Was it Harry Redknapp used to or not there?
No.
No?
It was Woody Callum who went to the Leicester. It was the Leicester manager.
Ranieri.
No, who was the one that did he get the Toon? I think no.
Sam Allardyce.
Nah. Who was it?
At Bolton. He might have, you know.
Nah, he might have done it at Bolton though. You might be right with that, but it was the Leicester. Jesus, wet. Pearson, Nigel Pearson. He preferred to sit in the stands.
Did he?
Aye, because you just had a better view of it. You could see the pitch and you can't. Who's this?
Billy's saying he used to watch the first half.
Second half in the dugout. That's right. Aye, it was Pearson wanted Billy. I'm sure it was. Geordie Toon for life saying more. Arsenal winning the title. How are Melly, man? Jesus. I know, honestly. They're never going to win a title, mate. They've had their best chance in the last few years, and they're not going to do it. So, I think
in the season where City's had a massive drop off because they'll just keep throwing money at it, they will. Unlike the Toon.
I disagree. I was speaking to a few. To breakfast shite, blah blah blah. Didn't buy it. Pearson Melly. Aye. De breakfast a good keeper. Do you agree, Gary?
Absolutely. You know what it is, when he come to Man U, he didn't really get much of a chance, but then he went back to Newcastle. Pope got injured. Basically the block a move to Saudi where he was probably set for life on a very good wage. They begged him to stay. Obviously promised him the world. So you've promised the lad the world. You've blocked him a move where he's going to be set for life for him and his family. Give him a new contract. Probably said, like, you're going to be with starter, like, you're playing way better than what this keeper was anyway, which he was. He's been outstanding. And then he's back and you drop him. and then he has a shit game, and then he's back in the next game, and I'm thinking, wow, you've just literally, that is shithousery at the highest level to do that to somebody, because Louis knackered for another 3 years when he could have had a free move. He gets a transfer fee. I mean, my heart doesn't break for him because obviously he's well off. But did you see the picture his wife put on Twitter?
Yeah.
So he's like, life's not fair. Picture St. James's Park. She's from the stands. So obviously she had a hard set on gambling now. A lot of money. And then now he's sitting on the bench watching that. And you're thinking, wow, like, and then they're saying, like, you know, it's horrible that to do to somebody. You should just let him gamble and bring someone else in.
Aye, well, and do what you've done.
It's a nasty trick, I think.
Billy Wonder saying Pope is a much better keeper. Trafford will be there in the summer.
Billy, I could put my boots on the wrong feet and kick a ball back on him. Honestly, he's awful. He's a good shot stopper, but I could put my left foot on my right foot and my right foot on my left foot, and he just kicks it into the stand anyway. Honestly, he is awful.
I wouldn't care. The Toon should have high standards for keepers because they've had some mint keepers over the years. Haven't they? That's one position where they've always been strong. Isaac be shite when he leaves, says Barry. Gary, you seem to watch the Toon a lot. Aye, we'll watch them just as much as anybody else. Football lovers will watch anybody. Tottenham 0, Man City 1. Haaland scores in the first half, and then he gets a goal disallowed in injury time of 90 plus 4 minutes. I don't think that's handball. Have you seen it?
Which one?
It's caught between them, the two players. Haaland's second goal.
Oh, right.
Handball, and it's like in between the two players. I don't think it's handball. I think they got the win anyway. 1-0 to City. Too little, too late. Was there any other games? West Ham 2, Leicester 0. That was last night. Souček and Vestergaard scoring an own goal. Another good win for West Ham, as I mentioned before. Oh, I did, man. I've missed one. Silly me. Liverpool 2, Newcastle 0.
Wow. That was just like rabbit in the headlights, wasn't it?
And this is
I didn't get it. I
Every
just
time
didn't
he
get it.
come up against like decent opposition, he kind of drops his arse, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
What
was the crack with Isaac?
I don't know, because they reckon he wasn't injured. You can't be like resting him, can you? Not when you're competing for a Champions League spot.
I've got no idea. I thought I was fully expecting the two to go in there and try and stick it to them and have a go, and the sat back. They just sat back and let Liverpool play, and then they just got picked off. But they had no threat at all going forward. But the thing is, then Gordon's running through. I don't mean that like in a bad way. I mean, like, they didn't have like a striker. Obviously, Gordon and that, they got through. They got chances, and Newcastle could have found themselves in front. You know what I mean? They could have. They could have been in front, and then you're sitting there thinking, just throw the dice a little bit, have a go here, and you might actually win this game. When you didn't, and they didn't, they just sat back and I don't know. They just let the game fizzle out, and then Liverpool got the second goal, and then it was just over. It was one of them ones.
Shit, didn't he?
I was Callum Wilson because I think he went through, didn't he, a couple of times, and I was sitting there thinking Isaac would have bagged that easily. We tried to lift it across the keeper, and it went wide.
Aye.
I thought Isaac scores that every day.
Billy Noble will have about 27 keepers on the books. I thought the Spurs did the handball. Say sausages. I eat sausage. Says Gary Scurfield. Groin strain apparently says Julie Toon for life. Billy thinks he's away at Arsenal. He can't leave the end of the season though, so I can't see why he's missing Liverpool. Too many first team players out. Isaac puts Wilson's chances away, so a different game. Rashford starts against Cardiff tonight. Well, he might find his level at the minute. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's not a bad player. He's bad attitude. At least it wasn't 7-0. But I know they got the same points as what they did for 7-0 as they did for 2-0. Listen, I'm gonna add this to the stage because there's been a lot of talk over it. Obviously, Newcastle's got to face Liverpool in the final, and I like Gary think that Newcastle could have been in front. I think Eddie's got to go with a different attitude into the final and put it to them. When Newcastle hosted City, at St James's Park, 2-0 up at half time. I don't know, that was last season or the season before. And then the second half, they went to all defensive, and City just picked them off. I think the best form of attack, the best form of defense is attack, and that's when Newcastle play better. I put this together. This is the team that I would go with in the final if everybody was fit. I'd have Dubravka in nets, Livramento, Shaw, Byrne, and Hall. I'd have Tonali sitting as a defensive midfielder, but dictating the play. Gordon on the left, Barnes on the right, Linton playing as a number 10, but just behind Miley. And I would let Miley just float across in front of Isaac. I think that, if you put that against Liverpool, if you'd asked me 3 weeks ago, I'd say it stood no chance. But after watching that the other day, I didn't think they were that far away from Liverpool. And I think a fully fit Newcastle team, if they got at them, then they've got a chance of winning the final. But I think if they turn up like they did defensively and try and sit against them, they'll just be picked off even worse. What do you reckon?
I totally agree, because if you think how many times over the years, like, we've went there and we've been absolutely battered, because to try and sit back and think, oh well, what we'll do is we'll try and like nick one on the break, blah blah blah. This season when we went, it was the best I've seen we play away from home. Like, and we were very, very poor running into them games, but that's just something about that derby with Liverpool. Everyone lifts their game, and that was the best I'd seen us play all season. But then what knocked us a little bit was their manager, the disrespect after the game. He came on, he tried to stay like, oh, wait, they just played the long ball and blah blah blah. I was like, well, we didn't. We literally cut them open for the 2 goals, really good goals, good finishes, and then Harry Maguire should have scored at the end to win the game.
Aye.
But the same thing, like in Newcastle, that's what annoyed us. It does annoy us because, like, you get in there. Lewis Hall, by the way, had an absolute mint game. That's the quietest, like, I've seen Salah. He had a man unmarked all night. But then it was in the middle of the pitch that Gravenberch was a very good player, and so was McAllister. And that's where they lost that game on Tuesday night. I felt it was in the midfield, like Bruno get you buy fouls here and there. Tonali's a very good player, but
I'll drop him because I think Tonali's probably one of the
lost legs. The like ours, like Roy King called Bruno the other day, and he was.
But you love that, didn't you?
Like, he looks.
Gary will be having a horror. Yeah, I love this
because he does that. He like looks where he's going to make a challenge, and then just, like, it's a half attempt a challenge. But Bruno does that as well for Newcastle, and like it looks like he's making a challenge, and then that can't be asked to chase him. Gravenberch and McAllister run through, and then. You know what Liverpool's like when them 2 go through, and then you've got the other 3 in front. It's 5-on-3 or 5-on-4 times, and that's where Liverpool pick you off because they win them battles in the middle, and then the boom, and it's so hard to defend against.
Out forwards who will just
they are
putting the defenders.
That's what they've done at Old Trafford. Aye, but Liverpool
got it in the middle, and you've got a chance of winning the game, haven't you?
Yeah, but you've got to win it in there. Joe Linton, like the lads are saying in the comments, he will make a difference.
No, Isaac Botman, Joe Linton. It will be different in the final, says Geordie Toon for life. Everyone knows what Liverpool do, but it's how do you stop it? But did you not watch Man U v Liverpool? We stopped it and we should have won. That's how you stop it. Need a Ramos moment on Salah. No, you didn't. Like Gary's just said, that's the quietest he's ever been. And you're saying here, Billy, Hall player of the season minus Isaac. I think Hall's probably the player of the season. Isaac's scoring the goals, but Hall has been absolutely outstanding. He's just a young kid. He's come in and he's just tightened your whole back four. The confidence that must flow through that team because of like your defensive record is honestly.
He's turned.
He always goes under the radar. It's goals that are always like more, like highlighted, isn't it?
Because it's funny how he's turned Dan Burn into the centre half hour night, hasn't he?
He's meant.
That's Dan Burn's place, but he was left back every game, and then they were calling him and everything. But he's a min centre half, Dan Burn, but they were making him play at left back. But he's probably one of the best centre halves.
He is very good. Look, we'll hit the adverts quickly. Go and have a toilet. That's what I'm going to do, and we'll see you in 2 minutes and 42 seconds. Be right back. Cheers. If you'd like to advertise with us like these following businesses have done, then get in touch with Melly or Gary. It's only $5 a show, and we're hitting on average, I would say, between 10 and 20,000 people per month. Support us, and we'll help support you. Melly's Carpets and Beds, 63 Station Road in Ashington. Free measures are available daily. You can call 01670 632216 or find us on Facebook. Melly's Carpets and Beds. Laying our reputation, one recommendation at a time. BA Commercials and Northeast Metals Limited, where you can get almost any used car part. The best prices is paid here for scrap vehicles and metals. They have containers to rent short and long term from just £30 per week, as well as plant hire and also commercial buildings for rent. Call during working hours on 07825 405 772. GB Glazing and Joinery Limited, based in Ashington, Northumberland, but covering the whole of the Northeast. CERTAS approved, who specialise in windows, doors, warm roofs, kitchen, conversions, and conservatories. Call Gary during working hours on 07825 160 777. A1 Fire Stopping and Drilling Services, who specialize in installation and maintenance of passive fire protection, fire stopping, and thermal installation systems. You can email your query to Martin. That's at martin.gallen@a1firestop.co.uk, or call during working hours on 07751 429 045. A1 Fire Stopping Services. Ashington Properties, whose company mission is to create high-quality homes for the local community and Northumberland, and whose company values are transparency, trust, and loyalty. You can email them at ashingtonproperties@gmail.com or call during working hours on 07985 203 094. And last but not least, most cuts. You can call Lewis on 07519 07787. You can find him on Facebook, and you can also book through the Booksy app. You'll find them down in Newbiggin on Front Street, straight opposite Chisholm Bookmakers. Always look fresh when you get cut off Moz.
Baby, we are fucking back. We're back. Classic. We are back. We are back.
We are back. We are so back. Second half of the season, we're doing a title charge. Right, football tonight, quickly. Chef Wade against Sunderland. Sunderland are currently sitting in the fourth position on 62 points, 12 points ahead of seventh place, which is Coventry. They're facing Chef Wade tonight. Chef Wade are sitting in 13. How do you see that, Gary?
Lad that delivers the gear for us from seeing for the windows and all that. He's a Sunderland fan. He says they should win it, but he's one of them. Like his season ticket holder, he can't sleep at the games. He just says they're just going through a patch at the minute. Sunderland against should have beat Hull at the weekend quite easily. Got loads of chances, but it's one of them. Like when you're just not getting the rub of the green, the ball's just not going in the net. So I don't know. I think it's just going to be a tricky game for them. You'd expect them to win, but I don't know. They're just struggling. They're dropping off at the wrong time because I wanted them to get the automatic promotions, me. But I don't know. It looks like it's going to be Leeds and Sheffield United at the minute.
Aye. I think Sunderland will win 2-1. Is it Isidore or something? Or Ice?
Brilliant player.
He is.
He reminds us of Isaac Kim.
Aye.
Very, very similar.
Very good.
Very similar.
Le Pen as well. Le Pen, he's very good. The winger.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good. I can't see them keeping him neither.
Job, Chris Rigg.
Chris Rigg. Aye.
Joe Bellingham.
Apparently.
Oh, yes, he was. Wait, I'm sure he was on the books. He nearly went to Newcastle. They tried to get him before he went pro, but then Sunderland gave him the pro contract and offered him first team football. So, but Ali's family's there in Newcastle.
F.A Cup this weekend, Gary. Jordan Life saying that he's out injured. I don't know who he means. He's probably meaning the forward. The lineups for Aston Villa against Cardiff. Aston Villa's obviously going quite strong. No real noticeable changes, to be honest with you. So they obviously want to progress. Rashford starts. That's the big one. But Cardiff in town, how do you see that going?
I cannot see anything other than a Villa win, to be honest. Convincingly, so like you say, Asensio's in, Rashford's in. It gives them a chance to have a better look, but without upsetting the apple cart sort of thing, doesn't it? Because them two's obviously on loan. He obviously rates them, but he doesn't want to push his players out because come the end of the season, if these guys get back to where they've come from, then you've upset your starters, haven't you? That's the top and bottom of it. So it's a tough one for them, but obviously the cup gives them a chance to do that. But I think Villa will blow these away tonight. I think that's going to be 4 or 5-0.
Yeah, I'm probably going to book the same. I think Cardiff might score. Obviously, Villa's gone all out attack. They might get caught, so I'll go 3-1. Geordie for life says it'll be 5-0 to Chef Wade. It's the French player who's out with a hamstring problem. Moving on to tomorrow, early kickoffs. Crystal Palace in a London derby against Millwall. That'll be a good game, that.
Well, it's one of them ones, isn't it? It's like you say, it's a derby. So the Millwall, they'll be bringing it, won't they? But you've got to fancy the home team there, I think. So I'm going to say 2-0. 2-0.
I'll go 3-1. Championship battle next. Preston are hosting Burnley. Preston are not on a very good run of form. They've gotten 2 points in the last 3 games, playing Coventry, Millwall, and Burnley, where they drew nils each. Burnley are away form. They beat Southampton. That must have been in the F.A Cup, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Drew nils each with Preston and drew nils each with Bournemouth. So 2 teams really. It could go on either. We're gonna, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Burnley win though.
Well, yeah, I cannot say there'll be many goals in this. 2 poor sides like Burnley. I thought they might get they cannot score goals, but the defender. I'm going to say 1-0 Burnley.
1-0 Burnley. Geordie Toon for life thinks it'll be 2-0 to Palace and 2-0 to Burnley. Bournemouth are hosting Wolves in a 3:00 kickoff. I don't know. It depends, doesn't it, which Wolves turn up, but you'd fancy a Bournemouth 3-1 win, I would say.
I totally agree. Bournemouth, you would think, will be prioritising like a bit of a cup run, won't they? So, I mean, where in the league or
who?
Bournemouth,
7th.
So they're pushing for Europe now, but you get Europe through the FA Cup anyway, don't you? And there's not many teams in the league better than them, so maybe it's the will. I'm gonna say Bournemouth 3-1 as well.
3-1.
All right.
Because you get the Europe. Can you not remember last year?
That's what I'm saying. So
we were 7th.
It's an easier option.
Newcastle was 6th. And they were going into the Europa League, weren't they?
Only we could do that, couldn't we?
We were playing City on the Saturday, and nobody had us to beat City. But obviously we beat City. Aye. Beat City. Newcastle had to go on. Oot.
The big lads is in. But
anyway, we'll suss it out next week.
And I but we're both the
sixth.
Oot.
Out. Go on and take your boots. Man City against Plymouth, 5:45 kickoff on Saturday night. Although Plymouth beat Liverpool, I think Liverpool dropped a massive clang. I think that they were just going to whack out with them. I can't see now, but like at least 4 or 5 now. Me like.
Who was that? Sorry,
Man City and Plymouth.
Oh, I've got I think I'm one the bomb thing. I don't know if anyone else wants to join that, do they?
What the bomb?
Aye.
They should. I don't know if he's now what that is. Anyway, I'll show you. It's a Le Bomb app, right? Le Bomb. And what you do is you basically bet with your mates. If anybody wants to join, drop a comment.
Like Super 6, isn't it? It's a bit like a Super 6. You're just predicting the scores.
So at the minute, we've got 12 people of 15 in. Everybody pays a $5 each. Le Bomb take 10% of the winnings. So it's 60 quid up and new. Le Bomb will take 6 quid of that. And whoever gets the most results right out of everybody, you get 20 points for exact results or 6 points if you get the right team that's won kind of thing. You know what I mean? And you win all the money. So it's betting, but it's betting with your mates. It's actually mint cracking it.
Aye, good laugh. And you can chat through like the app as well, can't you?
Yeah, aye.
So aye.
If he's one in, let us know. We've set the stakes at a $5 a game. So every week when there's fixtures, you pay a $5, you get your results. Nobody else can see your results until the first match is played. Then everybody can see everybody's results. And then the leaderboard gets put up, and then whoever wins takes all the money. Let one know if you want in. 14th for this year. It's cool down there. We'll get the same for 14th as what you'll get for 10th, because that's where you're going to end up finishing. Nothing. But we'll win the FA Cup again, and we'll win the Europa League. 5-0, he reckons it'll be. Man City game. What did he say?
I said 5 as well.
5. Right. So moving on to the Sunday FA Cup 5th round. Quarterfinals after this. 2 games. Newcastle against Brighton. A 1:45 kickoff on Sunday. How do you see that going, Gary?
I think it's going to be a tight affair. I think it'll be a very, very close game. Is Isaac injured? Is Joe Linton injured, or were they saving them? Did the bow down to Liverpool? We'll find it on Sunday, won't we?
Yeah.
I think the latter. I think they've just gifted Liverpool the 3 points, if I'm being honest. But we'll see on Sunday. If Newcastle's got a full strength team, if Isaac and Joe Linton both play in that game, I think they might win it. I think 2-1 Newcastle. If they didn't, I think it'll be the other way.
Geordie Toon for life saying Newcastle 1, Brighton 1. There's no replays, is that?
Nah.
So decided.
It kind of depends. Yeah.
Kind of depends. Newcastle's got a good keeper. I've got the Bracker in for penalties. Billy thinks it'll be 3-0 to the Wembley boys. You spelled Trafalgar Square wrong there, mate. I'm going to go in for a 2-1 win to Brighton. I can't see no else. Honestly, I just think that you're saying Penn's Geordie Toon for life. Who do you think will win, though, mate? Do you think it'll be Brighton or Newcastle on penalties? Because Brighton's got a good keeper as well, haven't they? So you didn't really want to go into Penn's. Tough game, like. Tough game. I'm pleased. Although we've got a tough game as well, I'd rather Fulham as Brighton. 100%. We've got the psychological edge over Fulham, I think.
Brighton's a better side than Fulham, I think.
Aye, definitely. Oh, Brighton. You saying Brighton will win on penalties? I didn't expect that. Bloody hell. Can you screenshot that, Gary?
Peter thinks Brighton will win as well, though, doesn't he?
Aye. He's saying that, though, because just to save the jip of us in the group. Because next up is Man United against Fulham. And I'm going to go for 4-0 to Man United.
Hey, lads.
Erasmus,
you kill me. It's still 25-1, though, isn't it? It doesn't count up.
I can't believe it. He should be 125 to 1, shouldn't he?
It should. You should get your house paid off if it comes in.
Billy Noble 4-0 to Fulham. Geordie Toon for life. Man U 1, Fulham 3. What do you reckon, Gary?
I'm going to say 2-1 Man U.
2-1 Man U.
Nah, I think it'll be a close-ish game. I do hope that he plays like a few of the young ones, give them a good one, because then they'll show them what pride is. I want to see the young and Obi Martin start up front. Give him a chance. Give Garnacho his 90 minutes. Keep him happy. That's all I want to say. But I think Fulham, we should be beating them. Should be.
Definitely. Rounding up the FA Cup is Nottingham Forest against Ipswich on Monday night. Straight away, it's saying like Nottingham Forest, isn't it? You know, like, but to me, Ipswich can play football, and depending on what Nottingham Forest turn up or put out, because Forest are sitting nice and rosy in the league, aren't they? So, will they rest a few players? Can they see themselves winning the FA Cup?
Maybe you just need the look of the draw, like what. I mean, Newcastle's had a good run up to this point. I mean, they've got a difficult fixture at the weekend, but I mean, Man City, they've got Plymouth. Like, they're going to see themselves in the quarterfinals without playing anyone at all, really.
Half decent.
Anyone half decent. I mean, we've had Arsenal away, and then we've got Fulham. Who did before that? That was another tricky fixture, right?
Arsenal, that's it.
Was that it?
Oh, no. Nah.
Yeah, we did. We had another one. I think who it was.
I don't remember. That's shocking.
But, I mean, we didn't get Bromley at home, did we, like the tune? Cities, they had a non-league team or something in that run, didn't they? You just need a little bit of luck. Maybe Forest, you know, they might be looking at it and think Newport.
That was last year. I think there's going to be an upset. I think it'll be Ipswich. Beat them 2-1.
Yeah.
And then we'll get Ipswich at home in the next run. Billy Noble reckons it'll be 3-2 to Forest. Geordie Toon for life thinks it'll be 2-0 to Forest. Best ever chance this year for winning the FA Cup. Must be on about Man U. Well, it can't be because we've just won it. Brighton. You must be on about Brighton. Newport. Now that was last year. Andrew 44 says 3-2 to Fulham. I used to like Andrew. I did.
I'm gonna see a Forest will win, Mike. I'm gonna go 2-1 Forest.
2-1 to Forest. Right, that sums it all up, mate. And then after that, we've got it's back to Europe. We're holding we're going out to Real Sociedad on Thursday night, 5:45 kickoff. Hopefully we can get there. Do you want to talk about else? What about Man United at the minute? Cancelling all the foods and putting fruit in there and that. What do you reckon of all that crap?
I just take it out with a pinch of salt. I didn't believe everything I read, to be honest, Matty. I think everything that happens at Man United is blown out of proportion. That's why everyone talks about it.
Aye.
I think.
You don't think he's done that? You don't think he's
They were shite.
No.
They were shite. No.
They do that. Like, from a business point of view.
I mean,
you're a businessman. You've come in, you've come back, say you've been away from your business for a year and you've come back. That's not how it happened, but let's say it did. And you can see all this stuff gone wrong. You've got to make them decisions, haven't you? You've got to say, we can't do that, and we can't do that. You're not needed. You're actually different thing out. He can do your job. There's no reason why we need 5 people to be doing one job. One person can do that. So is he making the right cuts? Is he doing the right thing? Although at the bottom of it, there is like people losing jobs and stuff like that. They will find other jobs, but have they been getting away with it for a long time, or do you think this is
jobs
just
for mates?
Aye,
this is jobs for mates. It looks like it, because if you look at like over the years, like all the leaks and stuff that comes out, like games and Like I don't know. It stinks from top to bottom what it has done for the last 30 years, hasn't it? Post Fergie, and there's people still in there that probably got jobs through him, like when he was there. You know what I mean? So they're coming in and they're just like, no, we want professionals in each position. If you can pay one man to do your job instead of four that's doing the same job, but you're getting a better outcome anyway, why wouldn't you?
Geordie Toon for life saying there, Melly, surely you're not backing Ineos. You know what it is, though? Ineos have come in.
They haven't even had a chance. They haven't even had a season.
Bought in the summer. They've bought
200 million.
Aye, so it's not like that they're not like the Toon owners. The Toon couldn't even buy Gui. They're supposed to be the richest club in the world. They couldn't even buy Gui, and they're saying, I didn't have any money. PSR's getting in the way. At least he's come in and he spent money. He put his money where his mouth is. He spent money. Granted, they might not have been the best of players. They're getting better. But I think he has to make these changes.
He backed his manager. That's what he done.
Uh-huh.
He backed his manager. He gave him 200 million to spend. They went and spent.
That was a mistake if they knew they were going to sack him, though.
1,000,000%. I said that here at Wembley, but I also turned in at Wembley and said when we won, I says, they're in a stinking position now because how do you sack a manager that's just won the F.A Cup? And apparently that was why Dan Ashworth, he wanted to keep Ten Hag on. They didn't. Apparently Amaron was the man they wanted in the summer. But then the hand was forced. So Dan Ashworth, you've just brought him in, you've invested 15 million and you've paid his gardening leave. Already prior to this, Dan Ashworth's thinking Ten Hag's like his man sort of thing. But you hear the Southgate rumours and stuff like bollocks. Apparently Dan Ashworth didn't want Amaron in because Amaron wants to he wants to control everything above it, which is right.
How? A Potter? Dan Ashworth.
Well, there you go. So,
and because your club, the Red Cartel, stops us and you know that, well, that's absolute bullshit. We didn't phone Mark Gui up and say, "Don't join Newcastle." Like, you had 100 million there to spend. Why do you have to go and spend 100
60?
Million?
They offered 60.
Aye.
And then they went for
Langer. And then they wanted
55.
There's money there. Like, but they just keep... Newcastle fans are happy to keep using this excuse to stick up for the owners, when in reality, like, if you look at City, Chelsea, everybody, they're all doing business on 10-year deals, 7-year deals. Their businessmen are very much involved in the club, and they're making decisions, and they're giving them a lot of players. Newcastle aren't. You've got all this money and you're not. They're not giving you an out. You're not even interested. It's the first time he's been to a stadium in 5 years, something, man, the other day.
What's he saying? Man U, Arsenal, Spurs, it's in the writing for fuck's sake, changing the rules. What do you mean? I don't understand.
Just do what you want. Just do what you want. Everybody else is doing what they want. Why aren't you? Just don't think, like Gary said all along, it's a public investment fund. You're a high risk. You're a high risk. Like, they're not guaranteed to win a Premier League.
It's people's pensions. Like, people that don't understand it.
Uh-huh.
What it is the PIF is you don't pay a tax in Saudi Arabia and stuff like that. What happens is they take a proportion of your wage and put it into the fund. That is the fund that Newcastle... People think it's Newcastle's money. It's not. That fund is the people of Saudi Arabia, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. They reinvest that money, but obviously it's got to be at a certain risk. Like, if you've got a pension, I've got a pension, you select what risk you want your pension to be put in. They're not going to pump it into Newcastle. When you're up against, like, some of the best teams in the world, you've got Liverpool, like... It's so hard.
Liverpool to start with, didn't they?
They weren't Man United until they went to the Turkish embassy with a van and suitcase. They were about to buy Man United, and they walked out the Turkish embassy. There was a man in a suitcase. There was blood dripping out of it, and they stopped it. That happened 5 years prior to.
That's legit.
Honestly, mate, look it up. The stock
Newcastle were hoping someone was going to pay Bruno's 100 million release scores. No one did. That's why you said to be sold. Like, every time somebody comes in, like, I wouldn't sell Isaac. If somebody come with 120 million, you'd march them to the airport. I'm not paying. No, wouldn't you?
Aye, but you know what it is? You know if Man U were willing to pay 120 million, I would march them to Man U, in a heartbeat. I would take them in a heartbeat.
100%.
They obviously need the money.
Gary, it's been written by those clubs to stop Newcastle from spending money. And if you don't think that, then no one is helping you.
What do you mean?
Written for Newcastle to stop them from spending money.
Bollocks.
Well, we're going to allow you to buy Mark Guy, so that's honestly, that myth straight out the window. Straight out the window. Honestly, if that was the case, then you wouldn't even have been allowed to buy him. However, man, wake up.
They need to wake up. Like Amanda Stavely and that bloke that she was with or whatever. However, right. So she comes in and she's gone, right, we're going to win the league. We're going to win the Champions League. They even made a song up. They made a song up, right, that they were going to win all this, right, in 5 years. They've obviously put the block straight on it and went, no, actually, it's too high risk. We're actually not going to spend that money. Premier League footballers are coming too expensive. We can put this money, if we put 300 million into golf, that will get $1 billion back. If we put 300 million in Newcastle, we might not get now back because you're up against Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, teams at the top at the minute. And then when you get the bigger competitions where the bigger money is, then you've got Real Madrid, Barcelona. Even if we reinvest that money, is it anywhere near what they can do? Nah, probably not. That's too high risk. Right. Get back in your basket. Get back into the Granger market. Right? Go on. But that's the reality. It's the reality. Like, it's easy putting it into golf because you're not bothered about the outcome of the winner.
Aye.
In football, they have to win to be profitable.
At least like Ashley, he spent money, didn't he? The mate called them. He's got the money. He had them zero debt. He owed nothing. We owe £1 billion, for God's sake. We owe 300 million out, which is due in any time. He had them on zero debt, and he still bought players. But he knew that he had to sell players.
Gabriel overtime. He was absolutely brilliant.
Right, look, we've had you for 10 minutes. Thanks very much for joining us. If you didn't see it earlier, now proud sponsors of Chris Dobie. Good luck the night, Dobie. And I didn't
cheers, Chris.
Earlier either, but yeah, we're gone.
Baby, we are fucking back. We're back. Classic. We are back. We are back.
I think we've got Billy here.
Shall we come back on Monday, Gary?
Aye, I think we've got Billy here. Like, you're both talking shit.
What's he say?
Look at the comments. You're both talking shit. Wait until we go ahead with the new stadium.
You've got the Toon fans exactly where they want them, haven't they? Because they just keep like, oh no, we're the richest team in the world. We haven't even bought anybody, man. You should be up there new. You know what I mean? You're not. You took a gamble on Isaac, which nobody knew who he was, and it's paid off for you. Like, Brazilians will come because they need to use it. The Newcastle's always kind of been used as like to be seen, haven't they? Like a stepping platform. It's sad, but it's true, isn't it? It is. They come, they get noticed, and then they leave. And
they put that 100 million release clause on the.
Apart from they've got a good manager on Eddie Howe who's brought stability. And like they're competing like for Europe, Champions League, blah 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 blah. They're not getting to where they thought they were gonna be. And if everybody's honest, they'll agree with us. They aren't where they thought they would be 5 years after being taken over by the richest people in the world.
Well, that was the plan. That's what I'm saying. That was exactly the plan. It's not a coincidence that she's left when she was the face of Newcastle. She promised them the world. Mm-hmm. Why she left if you promised them the world?
Leave? Huh?
Why would you leave? Maybe it's not as good, or the back end isn't as good as what you thought it was going to be.
You made an excellent
win the
point,
Premier League.
You made an excellent point. Live golf.
Well, exactly, because
this will make you $1 billion. This might make you 500 million. Where
if not, like I remember, right? So I think it was about 4 or 5. Wait, when Sunderland got promoted to the Premier League, right? There was a thing came out, right? And what it was Real Madrid had won La Liga, they had won the Champions League, and I think they won the Club World Cup, right? All in one season, like the Galacticos. And it turned out in Sunderland, I remember Sunderland got promoted from the Championship, and it turned out that Sunderland actually won more money winning the Championship than what Real Madrid winning all of them. But so make that make sense. Like if you're pumping 400-500 million into a team, because they thought, let's be honest, Newcastle fans, you thought you were going to be buying Mbappe, you thought you were going to be buying like all the best players in the world, just cherry pick who you want. But if you're putting $1 billion in and you're only going to get 100 million back, like, you know what I mean? Your profit margins are way below what the risk is.
Other businesses could bring you in.
So what they've done is they've won tennis. They've just done a new one with tennis. They've done another one with the golf, and they're trying to get into all the other sports. They'll end up in basketball and that if the Americans let them, because it's guaranteed money, and it doesn't matter which team wins. It's simple. But the Premier League, you've got too many teams that can win. It's too high.
3 years, 5 years, it's all the same. Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we've had what saying. If you think that we're just, having a go at Newcastle,
it's not honest opinion.
It's not what we've said. Is it right? Or is it not? Do you expect to be further on than you are? Did you expect to have, at least a good squad? At the minute, you're playing the same 11 week in, week out, every week. I can probably name your squad against Brighton now, and I can also name your subs and what time they'll be brought on. That's the reality of it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Like it's not a dig. It's not a dig at them. What I'm saying is it's the reality. Like where you thought you just got painted this big picture. It might change like a little bit, but not much. It'll change a bit if you get the new stadium and that. But most of the fancy tatty that didn't want the new stadium, they love St James's Park. Like, but you need that. That's like your revenue. You didn't get revenue off St James's Park because it's owned by the council. Mm-hmm. Like they need to factor all this in, but the fact that they made the song up saying that they would win the Premier League and the Champions League and everything else, like, you thought you were gonna, didn't they? They did though. They did. Like. I'm sorry, but like if we done that, we'll see it now.
He's chucking his screen across the floor, isn't he? You're fucking married. You're brilliant. Your opinion, he says, but it's not balanced. Why can you name the team? Because we are limited in what we can spend. Fuck. Bullshit. Can't buy players, man. You haven't got to buy £100 million players. Jesus. Gone to the Championship, you can pick up like a good 10 players in the Championship for 100 million. Good players. Hasn't got to be a name who will run for you, who will dedicate that time with a good manager, can become part of a great team. You haven't got to have, like, look at us, spent $1 billion, look where we are. Crap. Absolutely crap. Money does not guarantee success. Newcastle, if they've got 100 million there or 150 million, can't buy some decent young'uns. You haven't got to have names, but you'll not. You'll just not. They're not interested.
Look at what Man City did. Man City come from exactly the same cut what Newcastle come from, right? They started dropping before Christmas. Boom, can spend 250 million. Yeah. Why did Newcastle not do that? Why? Why?
It's not there.
No, but it is. They're the richest team in the world, man.
They're free ride.
No, they're the richest team in the world.
Aye.
They're
having their life, and these are all buying it. Look at the comments; they're all buying it. Not one of them.
PSR.
Look, it's persistent. Melly, it's PSR stopping us spending.
It's up, man. It's your owner. How does he know?
Aye, because our income isn't fake.
Bollocks.
Gary, you are honestly talking shite.
It's a fact. It's the truth.
You gotta have a look. Ask ChatGPT.
Can I have a look?
Artificial intelligence. Go on. Right.
Go on.
That's it.
It'll tell you exactly, Jody. Gannon, it'll tell you exactly what the PIF is. It's the fact. And speaking of facts, they didn't get it. Oh, no, we're the richest. We've got all the money. That's ours. I beg to differ because they also own Live Golf, they own all the boxing, they own everything. Everything. So it's now the boxing's the richest in the world and the golf's the richest in the world. It's not yours, man. Grow up. It's not yours. It's really not.
Yeah, right. I'm aware of all losing. Take care. Thanks for joining. We'll see you on Monday.
Cheers, lads. Craic. Win, Craic.